touch that dial. Just chill for a while, keep it locked with my man Tony D. Welcome to something new, something you're not used to. It's fresh and guaranteed to bless. New Artist Profile. Yeah, it's a new day with a new sound. Keep it locked, you're listening to the new Artist Profile. Thank God for music. New music on the radio.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's up, parties?
What's going on? Happy Sunday, Tony D.
Happy Sunday, happy daylight savings time. We hope everybody moved their clock forward. I'm still a little sleepy.
Yeah, it caught up with me.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the New Artist Profile Live with your boy, Tony D on the radio, and our co-host, Party Smith. We're excited about today's broadcast because we have an international recording artist that is, I can just say, incomparable. I can't think of the adjectives to say about this young lady. She is just amazing. So you're going to be in for a treat. And if you don't know who she is, stay tuned, because after the show, you'll be looking her up and following her on social media and all that stuff like that. So stay tuned. But we have some information that we want to share with you. So keep your eyes on the screen, and we'll be back with our guest right after this.
Remember when music had feeling? When the groove was smooth, the lyrics were real, and the vibe was undeniable. That's what we play every single day. Welcome to Dope Jams Radio, your home for R&B, neo-soul, soul classics, and just a touch of jazz flavor. From Maxwell to Erica, Anita to Sade, Jill Scott to New School Soul, we bring the textures, the warmth, and the late-night mood you've been missing. Perfect for working, relaxing, chilling, or riding with the windows down. No noise, no drama, just straight vibe. Dope Jams Radio. Feel the soul. Live the groove. Listen now at dopejamsradio.online.
Introducing a renowned lady of song, refreshingly motivating and energetically captivating, the Songbird, Myrna Clayton.
A long time ago in the 40s, Dizzy and Bird gave us this song. They called it Night in Tunisia, and the melody still lingers on. Max, Miles, to name just two. Together they proved the music was young and strong, and the melody still lingers on.
You know, honestly, music makes life better. Music is a connector. It's a healer. Music connects people regardless of race, language, or social status. If a person likes a song or a melody, it's an instant bonding. They're able to connect and make a connection that's lasting on just a song. It's a healer because music can penetrate places that nothing physical can go. It soothes in and makes you improve your attitude, change your energy, just give you a good mood. It makes everything better. That's what music does.
International audiences including Russia, France, Germany, America, Nigeria, Belarus. Singing the song styles of America: pop, soul, R&B, gospel, blues, and all forms of jazz, classic standards, contemporary, smooth jazz, and swing.
I've discovered that international audiences are not pretentious when it comes to music. If they like it, you know it. If they don't, You know that too. Thankfully, music is universal, crossing cultures and language. And I enjoy learning new cultures and new languages. I embrace the legacy of the legendary Josephine Baker, who was an awesome performer and a music ambassador. She set the standards for memorable live shows and graceful diplomacy, expanding the awareness of American values. I guess what's unique about me as a singer is the audience experience. I really want the audience to feel good. Whether I'm singing jazz or Motown or some other awesome style of American music, I want everybody, young or old, to have a good feeling and then take that feeling out into the atmosphere and share it with others. I have an MBA. I'm artistic director of a nonprofit NGO. But music, singing, that's my career. That's my passion. I guess I am like a little songbird who's happy singing and happy making others smile too.
But when she passes, he smiles, but she doesn't see. She just doesn't see. She looks straight ahead, not at him.
The Songbird, Myrna Clayton.
Man, what an introduction. That's amazing.
I was
And
hypnotized. I was like,
I'm saying, man, ladies and gentlemen, we're not even going to do anything to, because if we say anything, we're going to not do that video justice. We're going to bring our guest, Miss Myrna Clayton, to the stage. Miss Myrna, oh my goodness,
Hi.
that was amazing.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. I am terrific, as a matter of fact.
That's great. That's great.
That's
Well,
good.
first of all, we appreciate you being our guest today. We've heard so many great things about you from our producers, Grace and Angee, and to have you on with us is just an honor. So thank you for taking out time today.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. Thank you both. It's such a pleasure. And I've heard so much about Tony D. Oh, and now Partista, I know her too now. Yes. Thank
you.
We,
Thank you
and
so
we
much.
know you. And we know
Yes,
you.
yes. Night in Tunisia. That's my jam right there. I love that. Yes. Patrice, we're going to let you start off with the questions this week.
Okay, thank you, Tony D. I'm so excited. You know, in your video, kind of answered one of my questions. You know, today is International Women's Day, and so I was going to ask you, which woman, past or present, inspired you? And you mentioned Josephine Baker, so we're going to kind of flip to another question because you are international. What does International Women's Day mean to you personally?
You know, there are so many powerful women that really make things happen internationally. And the significance of just the woman in the world. If it wasn't for women, there would be no world. And so, just recognizing the significance of that feminine energy that exudes throughout the world, and how it's so important that we make our presence known and that we honor and be honored for our efforts. We are equal partners in this pathway, and contrary to what some men may think, we are very much so equal partners, and equally brilliant and equally committed to things. And so for International Women's Day, no matter what country, no matter what city, no matter what tribe, no matter what religion, no matter what culture you're from, it is important that we be recognized as powerful women. So,
And you indeed are powerful and amazing.
thank you.
And you said something that I really like, that music is universal. You know, I've been saying that for so long. And I say that to so many people. So the language that music speaks, everyone can understand it, right?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, in my shows, I recognize the significance of the frequency and the vibration of music. It penetrates where words may not necessarily go, or people may be resistant to some words, but the music, as a matter of fact, I say, you know, God created all music. It's the lyrics that mess things up.
Yeah.
You know, and so you have to be very cautious. And, you know, God spoke, and then there was creation. And so we have to be very careful with the words that we use. And so myself as a lyricist and as a singer, what matters to me most are the words. Once the rhythm and everything gets me, then I'm listening, to the words and what are the words saying, because that's what's going to be connecting with the audience once they've accepted the music. And so it's so necessary that the music and people understand, whether I'm in Russia or South America, the music connects. And it's a wonderful thing, regardless of the language. They may not know what the heck I'm saying, but they feel me, And so at that point, we can have a good time.
That's what's up. Well, you do have some amazing influences. We see Ella Fitzgerald is one, Aretha Franklin is one, Nancy Wilson.
That's my favorite.
One, Minnie Riperton. Like you have some great iconic influences.
Yeah.
So when did you decide that this was going to be your thing? Because we saw in your bio that you hold degrees and you. But when did you decide that music is what I'm going to do for a living and bless the people across the world?
Like many musicians and singers, I've been singing all my life since I was 5, and I started playing an instrument. I played piano when I took piano lessons. Let's be clear, I played piano lessons when I was, 10, 9, 10, 11. I started playing the flute in band when I was in the 6th grade. And so I have always been around music. And so music was always a very huge passion of mine. And then I went to college, and like many musicians, I'm sure, folks say you got to get a job, go get a good job. And so I went and got my MBA, and I realized, I wasn't happy. And I describe it this way: I was climbing up the ladder of success in corporate, and I realized that was not something that I didn't want to be 60 looking back wishing that I had pursued my dream. And so I realized after about maybe 7 years working in corporate, and like I said, moving up the ladder, doing the necessary things to move up with that degree, but I realized that just was not pleasing my soul.
Wow.
And so I decided, and this is my description: climbing up the ladder, I had to climb down the ladder, take my ladder and move it to a different wall.
Wow.
Because that was the realization. And then I had to start over and start climbing the ladder. As both of you, I'm sure, realize at that age, because I was I was 29, 30, I'm making that decision. And the music industry isn't looking for people to enter the music industry in your 29s and 30s. They're looking for 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. And so it was a blessing that I knew about business, because I could then start my own business and operate from the business of music and not be dependent upon somebody else trying to manage me or book me in that way. And so thankfully I had that orientation and that knowledge, basic knowledge as an entrepreneur, and figuring those things out. And so that's kind of how it happened for me. I realized early in my career, but not so early, that it wasn't a significant bump. The hardest thing was not having a check coming in every 2 weeks. I was making pretty good money, and to go from that, to I went to working for tips at Underground Atlanta, to kind of get started in that space, just to get some money flowing. And it was a change. It was a difference. But I look back on it, and all of it, God ordered my steps, and I'm so very grateful for it.
Yeah, it takes a definite step in faith to leave corporate America to whatever your passion is, to pursue that. Yeah, and it's something that really does scare you. But I understand, being a musician myself, how you feel incomplete when you're not doing what is in you. I didn't realize that music was in me so heavily until over the last couple of years, when I really want to do this music thing. So I applaud you for stepping out and moving your ladder to the other wall and excuse me, and following your passion. So being raised in Alabama, I know you didn't hear a lot of jazz. I'm assuming you may have. I see you looking like, no, Tony, I have. What was the style of music that you heard in your house in Alabama, and then when did you transition to Atlanta, and then when you did, what was the music scene like for you there?
Well, let me clarify. I was born in Alabama and I was raised in Atlanta.
Okay.
Both of my parents are from Alabama, and let me be real clear: lots of jazz musicians come out of Alabama.
Okay.
They just moved to New York. They just moved to Chicago. They just moved places because that's where the scene is and where the scene was. But there's a lot of great musicians that come out of Alabama. If Hello Muscle Shoals, Alabama wouldn't be. That's where they came to.
Right.
So let's be real clear. Let's be real clear on Alabama now. And so, but nonetheless, both my parents were strong in music. My father, especially, my father was a minister. He's a pastor and a college professor. And I describe it this way: my father was he was a trumpet player. And my father was his most happiest, I think, when he would pull out his horn and start playing. Wow. My dad was a huge Duke Ellington fan. As a matter of fact, when I was, I think maybe like 6 years old, my dad took me and my brother to see Duke Ellington perform. And it was amazing to see him. And my dad was like a little kid. And so those are just fond memories. But yes, my whole household orientation was jazz and spirituality. And that's why spirituality and jazz go so easily to me, and it floats so easy to me. But yeah, jazz is what I know and what I knew very clearly growing up. And again, both my parents were indoctrinated into jazz, and just kind of in that space. Jazz, more than any other music, gives you freedom to create on the fly, within rules, within strict structure, but you got room to play as long as you understand that the rules within the measure. you have room to play, and no other music gives you that liberty. And so again, spirituality, liberty in the Lord. Hello, let's have a good time, because jazz allows for that.
Yes. Party.
Yeah. So where I got to shout out where I'm from, here in Rocky Mountain. We talked about people moving. Thelonious Monk actually was born here in Rocky Mountain and moved to New York. So can you just take us back in time to help us, give us a vivid picture of what the scenes were like for a young musician, young girl growing up in that era, being influenced by music?
If I could be real candid, it was heavenly. And I say that because when I compare it to the music of today, I say to my daughter, oh man, I wish you could have been exposed to the music that I was growing up with. I said, because, the music taught girls and guys how to talk to each other. The lyrics would teach you how to guys to talk to a girl, or the girls how to talk to a guy. It was foreplay, if you will. It was, let's get to know each other. When now it's just straight up, let's go straight to the bedroom.
Just hop in the bed.
That's right. And so, I'm like, wow, you're missing so much, because I'm sorry, I'm not 24/7 in my bed. And so, as a matter of fact, I dare to say I'm not 90% in my bed. I like to be enjoying myself outside of my bed. And so, and we can still have wonderful fun and wonderful times and enjoy each other, where we're not just straight in the bed. And so, can we have conversation? Can we have energy? Can we have love in the atmosphere? Can we hold hands? All these wonderful,
walk in the
wonderful
park.
things. Yeah, exactly. And so for me, that's the music that I grew up with. Even as scandals come to mind, I was influenced very heavily by my brother, who was a major Ohio Players fan, and Earth, Wind and Fire, and Brothers Johnson, all of that. He was a huge fan of them. And scandalous as it may be, the brother Ohio Players, heaven must be like this.
Come on now.
So, what?
I don't sound as good as you, but I'll carry it too a little bit with you. But yeah, I love that song. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So in the era that I grew up in, music felt good. It made you, it gave you stimulations in ways that, I mean, in my mind, I'm there. I'm enjoying myself, and I can be with somebody too, and it can be even better. Woo, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why music from back in the day is so lasting. because of the substance that it was created in.
Yeah.
The musicianship, first of all, and then the substance behind the lyrics, and then the amazing abilities behind those who are delivering those lyrics. You
Yeah.
think of Marvin Gaye, like Marvin Gaye's music will never go out of style. You know, Earth, Wind, and Fire, my favorite group of all time. Never. You can listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire song and still, I could listen to September 7,000 times and still get a different feeling from it. So the music
Definitely.
is so lasting. And so I love Night in Tunisia. That's one of my favorite songs. I actually got familiar with it when Shaka Khan did her take on it. And then I was like, let me start researching. And then I went back to the original. I was like, man, so how much of those jazz standards do you incorporate into your performance?
You know what drives my the jazz standards is really the audience for me. If I know that I'm going to have a more mature audience, I will bring some jazz standards out. But here's what I do with jazz standards, because the wonderful thing about jazz standards is that you can change the rhythm, and as long as you don't interfere with the melody, then you can bring it contemporary. For example, God Bless the Child. I do it in Latin. I do a salsa version of it. Or my version of What a Wonderful World, we pull something from the Yellow Jackets. You know, it just kind of gave it a different energy. And so you can freshen it up without making it still the same. Now, mind you, there are some that are more in the purist realm that want to keep it that way, the original. And so I'll give that too. So it just kind of depends. But because of the fact that I was commissioned by the State Department to do American music, I kind of blend in a lot of things, and I'm grateful for the exposure that I've had. And so I blend in a lot. But also, jazz has such variety, you know, where other genres are there. You know, soul is soul, and funk is funk, you know, and rock is rock, you know, where jazz, you know, inspires and influences a lot of things. And there are lots of jazz, whether it be swing or, you know, or straight ahead, you know, or contemporary, or now smooth, which is instrumental R&B. So smooth, you know, I can play within jazz and make sure that someone's happy. Let me add one element though, which is so funny. The jazz standards, many of the adults, the folks who are in their, say, 70s, the standards are what their parents listen to,
Right.
not what they listen to.
Right.
You know, and so they think the standards are old too.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
so even bringing it, you know, fresh to them gives them a new take on it, because again, that's my mama's music, you know, and so it's a whole generational thing there.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in, you're locked into the NAP show live with yours truly, Tony D on the radio, Party Smith, and our dear friend Myrna Clayton. We highly encourage you to follow her. Google her. All the information is there. She's a world-renowned artist and has just a great ministry behind what she does. If you've been watching, you see the Holy Spirit. She's got the shine on now. She got the shine on now. It's with her.
Tell she's a PK. She's a PK. Tell her.
Yeah, that's what I call the Holy Spirit. Shine on.
I love it.
So and we want to shout out some of our people who's watching. Miss Tony Woodard Thomas, thank you for tuning in.
Hey, that's
of
my
course,
cousin.
Ray Mayfield, thank you for tuning in. Devanya, recording artist, I guess from last week, she's watching. Mary Goolsby, thank you so much, boss lady, for tuning in. So everybody that's watching, we thank you so much. And if you would be so kind to share this Facebook Live with your audiences, so that it's not about Parties tonight, it's about our guests every week. And we want you to know more about Miss Myrna Clayton if you do not know about her. So Myrna, with this being Black History, last month being Black History Month, I'm listening to you, and you are like Black History.
Yeah.
Like your introduction was so amazing, and I was like, man, this is Black History right here. So I want to applaud you for doing what you do. I would like to know, because I always have heard that artists are received differently internationally than they are here in the States. So your first time traveling abroad after performing, or you can lay it out for us. However, I'm just guesstimating, but performing here and then going abroad, how was the difference for you, and which do you like the most?
Thank you for that question, because it is a difference. It is a difference. And let me first say, I believe it's the difference is because, like with anything, we take things for granted. If we have it, if it's familiar to us and we have it all the time, then we don't necessarily value it to the degree that others may value it. And so the response that I get abroad is incomparable to what is here in the States. And whether that's in Central America or that's in Russia. And because in Central America, I performed in Guatemala and Costa Rica. And so the audience is, they're just people that like love to dance and love to have a good time. In Russia, people that love to have a good time and just uniquely want to spend a little bit of time. What I came to find out is people are the same everywhere. At the end of the day, we want to work and earn our living. We want to have fun with our families, with our families. And then we want to just kind of be able to, what's the third thing? Wait a minute. Eat. We want to make sure. Oh, hello. We got to eat. We got to make sure we got.
We got to eat.
Make sure we fed. Make sure we're fed and happy and housed. Make sure we have a job that we can go and have our value. And the other is just to spend time with family. And that's it. Beyond that, having a good time, being able to eat and and make our earn our living. We're happy. And for the first time when I was in Russia, I didn't realize what I was saying, other than me just saying what I do from the stage, because I'm there. And I said, and I started doing it every show, no matter what country I'm in. I introduced the song "What a Wonderful World" by saying, we're more alike than we're different. When I smile, it looks like your smile. When I frown, it looks like your frown. When you cut me, I bleed red, just like you. So can we get along? Can we not have war? Everybody in the place applauds.
That's good.
Because they're just like, we don't want war. We want to get along and do those three things I mentioned. That's it. I say it's the politicians that, mess stuff up. We want to just have a good time.
Amen.
Can we just have a good time?
Yeah.
And so that's been my experience. People and you speak of the spirit. People can see your light, even if I'm not speaking in their native language. I had, whether they be in France or Germany, or whether they're in Russia, or whether they're in Central America, they come to me and ask, they'll say, I see your light, or are you a believer? They're going to see it and they're going to ask just to confirm, and even those that are like, I'm a follower of Christ. And so there are others that will, that are Muslim or Buddhist. They'll, hey, I see your light. And, and it's a wonderful thing, because it is that type of appreciation for our humanity. And that's where I rest, because we're all human beings and we're all we're all divine oneness with the Creator. And so whatever religion or however we want to mix things up, we are one creation. We came from a being, a being, and so yes, abroad, it's significantly different. I have to admit too, though, that what's popular in the States is not necessarily what's popular over there. And so song selection may vary, because, it's just a little bit different. Also, many of the time, how do I say this? Because of the internet and because of YouTube, there's such a variety. But when early on, it was different, where they were far well breast of all different types of music, as opposed to a genre of music. And so they were familiar with so many different styles of American music. And I guessed that it was because, like in America back in the day, there was only one channel and you had different types of music styles depending upon the day part, and so I'm guessing that was it. I don't know why they were so aware of different styles of American music.
I can tell you that real quick.
Okay.
I watched this podcast called Digging the Greats. It's this gentleman who gives a lot of music history, and he did a story about cassette tapes and how cassette tapes made their way overseas. And they weren't able to listen to cassettes in, like, I believe it was China, because they had programmed music that they had to listen to. Well, they wanted the plastic from the cassettes, and so when there was music that wasn't sold in the States, like say you printed off 1 million CDs and you didn't sell that's the not CDs but cassettes, and it didn't sell, they would sell that plastic to China, and they used that plastic for whatever resources. But there was one guy who I can't remember his name. He went and got those cassettes and made underground record shops. And it's all types of music. It wasn't genre specific. It could have been the Bee Gees, and then it could have been Ella Fitzgerald, and it could have been Shirley Caesar, and it could have been the Doors. It could have been Queen. It could have been all types. So they weren't listening to music in decades or years. It was just all of this music. And so they were exposed to this stuff, and it really caused a big issue with the government. It was a big get a chance to research that. But yeah, that's how they came to appreciate all this different music and these different cultures, you know. So yeah,
that's fascinating. I'm one who goes on a deep dive, so I'm gonna thank you for that, Tony. That's brilliant, buddy.
Yeah. So I can't take the credit. Digging the Greats. If you go on YouTube, check him out. Digging the Greats. He gives a lot of information about all types of music, but he did a deep research on cassettes and how cassette tapes, you know, but it was But yeah, I was so amazed about that, because I always realized, like, see, when the Beatles came over here, they like took over our country, like, you know, but we never see when artists go over there how they receive us, or if they receive us. So yeah, I'm glad that you shared that information. And you should teach a class, Partisse, I'm gonna give you the next question, but you should teach a class on how to develop a set if you're going to go internationally. I think you may do this in some of the things that you do.
Yeah.
And I need to talk to you, because the Lord may lead me internationally one day. So I need you to help me. I won't go over there involved.
I would love
it back to America.
I would love it. One of the first things I used to do, and of course this was before AI, was I would just Google what are the top songs in the country where I'm going, you know, top R&B songs, top jazz songs, just to kind of see, just to kind of get a glimpse, you know, early on, you know, what is it what's popular there. You know, and then I would, you know, kind of listen as well to, you know, because of YouTube, listen to, you know, artists and stuff. And so I just do my homework, you know, to try to find out. I have a funny story. And then I'm sorry, Partisse. I was in Germany, and there's a younger audience there, and so I know what song I'm going to do, but I mention it by saying, and mind you, this was maybe about 15 years ago. So about 15 years ago. And I said, I'm going to sing a song by an artist. I know you know her. Her name is Christina Aguilera. And it was like crickets, right? And I was like, okay. And I said, well, okay. Well, she did a song by Etta James. Etta James, yeah. I was shocked, because they were one, you know, and so I did at last, of course, you know, and so they were like, and they were all into it, and these were folks that were in their 20s, right? And I was like, how do you not know, no matter, you know, and so that just again shows you that the artists that are huge, I mean, yes, the huge ones, yes, they're global. But at that time, Christina Aguilera may have been really, really hot here, but she was okay there. It wasn't like they didn't know her, but they were like, okay. You know, okay, you know, so it was just a huge awakening for me. I was like, oh my gosh, you know. So anyway, yeah.
That's good. That's a good story. Thanks for sharing. I do want to, in the time we have left, to get you an opportunity to talk about your nonprofit.
Thank you.
Your nonprofit that you have, Showability. And I can understand. I was like, what? When I first read, I was like, why would she name it Showability? But listening to you throughout this whole interview tonight, you hanging out here on NAP Live, I can understand now and see why you called it Showability. But tell us about your
why do you think I call it Showability?
That's your personality. The showability is who you are.
Well, thank you. It also, because with my nonprofit, I work with talented persons across the disability spectrum.
Mhm.
And so with that, whether that's physical disabilities or intellectual developmental disabilities, talent has no limit. Talent doesn't determine, hey, you have a disability, so you don't have, no. And so for me, the show must go on, and you've got to, be able to perform. No one wants
Yeah.
to patronize anybody, so you got to be able to be good or great at what you do. And so with this, we facilitate talented performing artists, whether that's actors or artists, musicians, poets, comedians, to be able to live their dream and showcase their talent. And on stage or in cameras, it's not unusual for casting agents to reach out to us and look for actors with disabilities, because they're looking for authentic actors. And so I started the organization now 15 years ago because I happened to be in a church singing, and I happened to see a little boy. He was maybe 9 or 10 years old, struggled to get up 3 steps into a church pulpit. Church pulpits mostly are not accessible. You guys probably see that when you have bishops, somebody come in there in a wheelchair, they can't get in the pulpit. What does that say? You're not welcome up here. That's not intended. Or in the choir law, you're not welcome up here because they're not making it accessible for you. We don't think about that, but that's what we're communicating. And so I then began asking people, he crossed my mind about 5 years later. I'm trying to go really fast here. About 5 years later. And so I said, I bet he's killing it. I bet he's great. I'd love to hear him today. At the time, he was like 9 or 10. And so I figured he's about 15. And I began asking people, do you know any singers with disabilities? And no one knew anybody. And jokingly, nobody said Stevie Wonder. So at that point, I was like, that just doesn't make sense that nobody knows anybody with a disability who sings or who has a talent. And when we think about it, that doesn't come to mind because we've been socialized not to point, not to stare. So they're not even a part of our consideration set. And so now things are starting to change just a little bit, but for the most part, still, if you're like me, you still hear those adults in your head saying, stop that, don't point, and so we fear making a mistake. And so this organization, we really help to facilitate folks. The number one thing is to encourage them to self-identify, because if people are looking for authentic people, then we need you to say that you're a person with a disability. That's like me showing up and I'm not saying I'm Black. That's who I am, and so owning your identity is the first thing. And perfecting your talent and perfecting your craft. And so that's the organization, Showability. And we're excited about all that we do.
Yeah. Well, Stevie Wonder not blind. Ain't no way.
No way. He's driving and everything, right?
Yes, man, that's amazing. That is so thoughtful and thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
Because I never would have thought about that, the accessibility of the pulpits or the choir lofts or the stages or something like that. So, yeah, and I don't ever recall, and I know they're out there, but I never recall seeing artists with a disability, like unless they become a senior and, have to come on stage with their wheelchair, like or was in Teddy Pendergrass when he was in his accident. So that is amazing. I wish you all the best with that.
Thank you.
Man, that's great. Shout out to Tara Smith Hughes. She's on. We appreciate her for being a weekly guest. If you're just tuning in, you're locked into the New Artist Profile Live with Tony D on the radio, Party Smith, and our guest this week, the amazing Myrna Clayton. Myrna, we're going to play Jazz Heals Humanity Worldwide. We're going to share that with our audience. And you have a minute to introduce that and tell us why you came up with this.
Ooh, a minute. With all that's going on right now in society, it's important that people heal, meaning put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then feel good and feel your mental state penetrating that mind to make you feel great. And then at that point, you can then go in and help other people. You can't help nobody if you're not right. And so Jazz Heals Humanity Worldwide is all about making sure you take care of yourself and allow the energy and the music, the frequency and the penetration to get into your soul. And who knows what God will do once it gets up in there. And so that's what it's all about. And that's the production.
That's what's up. Check it out right here on the NAP Show Live.
the green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. Then I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, a bright blessed day, a dark sacred night. Then I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, they are so pretty in the sky. They are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll know so much more than you and I will ever know. Then I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The Myrna Clayton experience, Jazz Heals Humanity, just reminds us that it's about us changing first from the inside and then spreading to the out. And it was awesome, awesome show.
This is an amazing experience. I was asked by a friend to come out to join her, and I've been sick, and this is actually what I needed in my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
When she sings, I mean, the world truly is healed, whether it's a contemporary song, a jazz band, or one of her originals. I'm so grateful that Myrna is someone who has come into my life, and I'm aware of her gifts, her talents, and I'm just so delighted to have been here tonight.
It's a vibration that gives us life, love, understanding. I'm positive that this movement is everything that we need. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The next concert, show, I'll be there. Enjoying myself thoroughly.
Man, I want to. We're gonna have to talk, Miss Myrna. Yeah, we definitely go, because what we talked about off air during the pre-show, I totally have a different vision for it now. So we're definitely going to have to. I'm gonna have to give you some connections here in this area.
That would be great,
because we have some great venues that I think can host that and do it justice. So yeah, definitely. First of all, thank you. You've been an amazing guest.
Yes.
I'm sure I could speak for Partis. We're privileged to have you. I'm a fan now, and I can't wait to actually experience one of your shows because, you know, Partis and I are jazz lovers. I think both of us are very versed in a cross section of music, not just gospel. We do gospel, but we love all music. And so I love that you share your gift. And I encourage everyone to find out more about Miss Myrna. If you could slide her social media information across the bottom of the screen, guys, that would be great. And do like Grace told me. She said, Tony, just Google her. So I did. And before I even finished typing your name in, it was like pop, pop, pop. Everything popped up. So definitely. But I love this, and I want to close with this. It says on your website, you say, I want everyone to do their gifts, to look at me and see their possibilities. If I can do it, so can they. What an encouragement that is, first of all, to me. Someone who questions themselves all the time as an artist. I'm my age, and I'm coming to this way in the ladder, and always like, I don't know. This statement really encouraged me, so thank you. So what do you want to leave people with when they come to your event, or they're educated with you through your nonprofit or anything? What do you want their lasting feeling to be when they leave a Myrna Clayton experience?
Thank you for that, because after I say to the audience that I want them to put the oxygen mask on, the next thing throughout the show, I'll say, I need you to remember your first love. And that first love is your gift. God gave you a gift. And I need for you to remember that and do that, because that's what the world needs. That's what you were brought here to do. So we need you to lean into your gift and do that thing, whatever it is, whether that's baking, whether that's speaking, whether that's playing an instrument, whatever that is. We need you to reconnect with your first love, that thing that you were doing before you went to school, for kindergarten, first grade, and lean into that and perfect that, because we absolutely need that right now today. And we sort of take those things for granted. And I'm saying, oh no, that was a gift. And we need you to lean into that, because it brings you joy. And again, that stimulation, that frequency, that vibration that happens within your spirit will then be edified. And then we're all better for it. And so that's what I would encourage people to do, to please remember your first love. And that is the gift that God gave you. And please do that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Partis, you know what I'm about to do, right?
Get that organ.
Get the organ. She did some preaching. I'm at the tune her up.
Get that organ. Get that organ.
Yes,
I don't even know what I want to say next. It's just so much. It's been amazing meeting you and hanging out with you, and an opportunity. Just I don't even feel like I get a chance to interview you. I just feel like you got a chance to pour back into me. But I'm reminded where the Bible says, "Stir up the gift." And I pray that God continues to stir up your gift, and that he continues to give you the longevity to pour back into this industry. Whatever your heart's desires are, is what I definitely want to say to you as we close. And I rarely am I speechless, but I've definitely inspired.
I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank you so much. Being with you guys this evening has been fabulous for me. Thank you. It's been a blessing.
And I want to read that one more time. I want everyone to do their gifts, to look at me and see their possibilities. If I can do it, so can they. If we can do it, so can you. So don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to the naysayer inside of yourself that tells you can't. If you feel like you can do it, just try it. Just do it. So
that's it. They call that the enemy. The enemy is the enemy.
Enemy is your enemy.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week.
Yep, I was gonna say that. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Myrna. We appreciate you. And anytime you want to invade the NAP show live, you're welcome. Anytime. And if you got something coming up and you want to talk about it, just let us know.
Thank you.
And hang around. You don't have to leave. You can hang around with us.
All right, I'll do that.
All right. So guys, make sure you check out Myrna. She's got some dope stuff. And definitely will be blessed. Partis, any last words?
It's been an amazing evening. Y'all get used to this hour going forward. Enjoy the daylight that we have coming forward, and just continue to be great. And march on.
Yeah. And don't forget, tonight at 8 p.m. is Kim and Birdie on CHH. Definitely want to check them out. They always have some great guests and some laughter and fun. And then at 9 p.m., it's the Pat Nash Show, and she's going to give you some good talk about some topics that you may not be able to talk about during the normal time, the earlier time. But she comes with the spirituality with it. And then every Sunday at 6 p.m., right here on Level Up Nation and Facebook, it's the New Artist Profile Live with your boy Tony D and Partis Smith. Make sure you check out Partis Smith, the Partis Smith Show. Follow her on social media. She'll tell you where she is across the globe. And also the New Artist Profile is on syndicated in 58 stations. Follow me and you'll see where we post, where you can listen to some of the best recording artists from the independent side. And make sure you purchase my book, Lyrics to Limelight, if you're an independent artist needing to know how to infiltrate and build your foundation in the music industry. Lyrics to Limelight is available for $30 on Amazon.com. I said that real fast. All right, guys, thank you so much. We're going to close with my single party tonight. But we want you to make sure you keep God first, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean out on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge God, and he will direct your path. Because living for God is as easy as ABC. If you always believe Christ, your life will never be the same. Because we serve a God who could do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can even ask or think. So whatever you're asking God for right now, he can exceed that by $1 trillion. Make sure you're living your life G-rated. What's G-rated? Living a lifestyle that's pleasing to God and brings glory to him in everything you do. I'm your boy, Tony D on the radio. I love you, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Until the next time you hear our voice, Partis and I, we're going to leave you with this last word. Chill.
Don't touch that dial. Just chill for a while. Keep it locked with my man Tony D. Welcome to something new, something you're not used to. It's fresh and guaranteed to bless. New artist profile. Yeah, it's a new day with a new sound. Keep it locked, you're listening to the new artist profile. Thank God for music. New music on the radio. Artist profile.
What's going on, you guys? Adrian Constanary Jr. here, and I'm here to talk to you about a brand new show that we're bringing to Level Up Nation called The Herd. He earns respect daily. This is an all-men's talk show where we'll be making a lot of different topics come to light, and where all excuses will get checked at the door, but also where brotherhood will be pushed. So we'll have a lot of different things. Make sure you guys tune in, join in with the comments, and give us a couple different things. Feed into this conversation. But we're looking forward to talking with you every Sunday. Make sure you tune in with Level Up Nation. I'm Adrian Constanary, one of the co-hosts for The Herd, ready to talk with you.
Now rocking with the CHH, so tune in to the CHH.
Yeah, this is the theme song, not an interlude. CHH with Kim and Birdie, I hope you're in the mood. For a special guest in the interviews, supporting the kingdom, and we continue to bring it to you non-stop. Yo, the show's a pop. Sunday night, 7th Century, we all in the spot. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, keep it locked. We Level Up Nation, we rising to the top. Yo, it's a Holy Ghost party, get your groove on. The KB double player, keep your move on. You can make the convertible if you groove strong. Come on and get your praise on for about an hour long. Shout out to Kim, yo, this is our song. You can check the times on the shows coming on. Tell your friends to tune in, we won't steer you wrong. CHH for Kim and Birdie, tap in and cheer along.
You're now rocking with the CHH, so tune in to the CHH.
Hello, everyone. This is Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks. I'm here every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us right here on Level Up Nation.
We all looking for a connection, something real, something true. In a world full of broken promises, I still believe in you. Every problem, every answer, got a face, got a name.
For all my people at the barbecues, backyard parties, it's your boy Tony D on the radio. You know what time it is. Let's go.
It's a party tonight. Vibing with my people, bring the party to life. Hands up in the sky, we start the party off right. We in the place, early birds, we ain't tardy tonight. Nah. In a trance as the beat in our eardrums. Got the moves in my feet, bro, and then some. Gonna lose plenty sleep, only live once. Up all night, man, we lit, fam, no kids stunts. Karaoke session going live. On the mic, spitting favorite vibes. Reminisce about them older times. Bringing back them old school written rhymes. Celebration lit, and you know it's real. Got the neighbors joining us, addicted to the party thrill. Jumping off the roof in the atmosphere, we hardly chill. Yeah, we going hard in the place like an army drill. In the ranch with the dogs pouring. Cause a party ain't official with no George Foreman. Everybody on the dance floor feeling good. Cause we living for the moment, we ain't living hood. Soul Train line getting in a groove here. It's a bash for the old and the new years. Even kids got the moves to the tunes. Cheers. Here's a toast to the good life and no fears. What a glorious sign to be in the very presence of my peers in their prime. Elders to adolescents with no tears in their mind. We looking up, all the other worries behind. Thought I told you, it's a party tonight. So I chose to bring the party to light. Driving back to the crib, no Bacardi and Sprite. Cause we drunk off the spirit of the laughter and hype, yeah.